for African countries. And Egypt's annual headline inflation decelerated in September to 28%, down from 39.7% in August. Also, we are joined over the phone by Ambassador Hussein Haridi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, to tell us more about the recent what is going on, the recent events and what's now taking place in Gaza and Israeli bombardments to Gaza Strip. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon, madam.
Yes, Mr. Ambassador, now can you tell us more about the current situation in Gaza and the recent Israeli escalations in Gaza Strip?
Well, I guess the most important news is that United States Secretary of State, Mr. Anthony
Yes, he's
Blinken,
currently in the region, yes.
Has arrived in Israel.
Yes, true.
He will hold talks with the senior Israeli officials, and we are waiting for the results of the visit. And then from Israel, he's scheduled to go to Jordan and to meet there also the chairman of the Palestinian Authority, Mr. Mahmoud Abbas, and maybe he would visit other countries in the region. So we are waiting for the results of this visit. He has made some positive, I would say, positive statements on the situation, the overall situation. Of course, he expressed, as expected, he expressed American support for Israel, but in the same time, in the meantime, he implicitly called on the Israelis, without saying it, to not to bomb indiscriminately the Palestinians, and let's hope that he would be able to convince the Israelis to cease bombarding innocent Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and also with Egypt and the United States and the United Nations on humanitarian corridors,
yes,
to ship medical supplies to the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, as well as fuel and food and water.
Yes, also, sir, there is some news that Israel also bombarded around the Syrian airport in Damascus and Aleppo. Do you believe that more countries may get involved in this war?
I doubt it very much, madam. The
yes.
Israelis, particularly the Israeli Prime Minister, yes, they are in a state of shock. So, and I guess they are behaving in abnormal ways.
Yes.
And I guess, but Mr. Blinken, the yes, American Secretary of State, would maybe succeed in cooling Israeli nerves after expressing full American support to the Israelis. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But I doubt very much if any country in the yes, in the region wants to get involved in this military confrontation.
Yes, Mr. Ambassador, Ambassador Hussein Haridi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you, sir, for being with us. And back, dear viewers, to our reports from Egypt. And Egypt's annual headline inflation decelerated in September to 38%, down from 39.7% in August. The Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, CAPMA, said September's inflation level remains well above the 15% in the same month of 2022. Details follow. Egypt's annual headline inflation decelerated in September to 38%, down from 39.7% in August. The Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, CAPMA, said September's inflation level remains well above the 15% in the same month of 2022. The agency attributed this decline to the decrease in prices of grains and bread in September by 1.3% and the decline of prices of meat and poultry by 0.1%. CAPMAS also noted that the prices of other goods and services remained stable. On a monthly basis, Egypt's inflation rose in September by 2% compared to 1.6% in August. Egypt's annual core inflation rate declined in September to 39.7%, down from 40.4% in August, according to data released by the Central Bank of Egypt. The monthly core inflation rate increased to 1.1% in September 2023, compared to 0.3% in August 2023 and 1.6% in September of the previous year. Urban headline inflation measures the rate of price increase of goods and services typically consumed by urban households, while core inflation excludes volatile items as food and energy prices. The readings provide ample room for the CBE to use its monetary policy to contain inflation by introducing further hikes to the key interest rates in the upcoming meetings of the Monetary Policy Committee scheduled for the 2nd of November and 21st of December. Since March 2022, when the Russian-Ukrainian war broke out, the CBE hiked key interest rates by a total of 11%, 3% of which was applied in 2023. In a bid to contain inflation, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli announced that the government will suspend duties and customs on several goods for 6 months. Madbouli also stated the government reached a deal with local merchants to reduce the prices of 7 basic commodities by 15 to 25% beginning 15th of October. And back to the situation in Gaza, we are joined over the phone by our guest journalist. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Abdellatif Wahba, our dear journalist. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken landed in Tel Aviv on Thursday as part of a wider Middle East tour to display Washington's solidarity with Israel and to try to end the conflict. Do you expect his visit to bear fruits and to succeed in getting the two sides to a negotiating table?
I think the success of his mission depends upon the other leaders, Arab leaders and the Arab states in the area. As you know, that Minister of Foreign Affairs, Blinken, at the beginning of the conflict and the war between the Palestinian and the Hamas and so on, he was really maybe with a strong tone and language and so on. But after 3 or 4 days, I think he elevated or used another language away from the asking Israel to revenge and to continue in its war and so on. So the mission of the Antony Blinken to Israel, I think it depends upon the coordinations and the negotiations with the Arab states in Middle East. As you know, President Fattah al-Sisi during the last days exerted and did and is still doing a great effort, not only to immediate ceasefire or to stop the war between Hamas and Israel, but also he pays a great attention to the humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, to the Gazan people, and so on. So I think Egypt is the main favor, is the main key for for solutions in the area. And as you know, Egypt at the same time has a great experience in dealing with the issues of prisoners or detained and so on.
Yes. Mr. Abdellatif, also Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry meets today his Lithuanian counterpart in the Foreign Ministry headquarters, and he said that what is happening in Gaza is unacceptable by all means, with an eye on confronting extreme ideas and stop funding terrorist organizations. How do you read his statement?
As you know, that Minister of Foreign Affairs in Egypt, Mr. Sameh Shoukry, he expressed from the first day of the war between the Palestinian and between Hamas and Israel, he expressed his opinion and the Egyptian opinion at the same time, that the issues or the conflict or the war came due to the Israeli aggressions and brutality with the Palestinians in general, not only in Gaza but in West Bank and other sectors or areas of Palestine. And at the same time, as you know, that as Egypt also said that Israel didn't take any tangible steps on ground or a concrete steps on ground to reach a peace treaty and based upon the Arab initiatives that called for two states, two independent states, for the Palestinians, the other Israel, and so on. But I think, as Egypt said, this war comes as due to the brutality of the Israelis against the Palestinians and the Gazan people.
Yes. Also, Mr. Abdellatif, to what extent this war will impact the whole region?
Yeah, of course, as you know that. By the way, from my own point of view, that the United States come to, the warships and also the other technical military team that reached came to Israel. I think from my own point of view that they came to see how Hamas implemented and executed its plan without any information declared or anything. This is one. And the second, at the same time, as you know, that America wants to support Israel, especially after the mental image has seen it changed completely concerning the Israeli army and so on. Thirdly, they came as the Arab faith from other parties or third parties or fourth parties and so on, joining the war or the conflict. It means a disaster for the area, not only for the Palestinians or even Israel.
Yes, also, sir, one final question. Egypt called on all countries, regional and international organizations who are willing to offer humanitarian aid, rescue aid to the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip to send them to Al Arish International Airport, which was allocated by the Egyptian authorities to receive humanitarian aid. How do you read the Egyptian stance?
Yeah, of course. As you know that what the Israelis army leaders calling for cutting electricity, water, and destroying the main infrastructures of Gaza and so on. This is, of course, a call against the international humanitarian law, and also against all the international traditions as Israel conquering the Palestinian land, and it must be responsible for the lives of the civilians, for providing the main services or living for the main services to the Palestinian, even in Gaza itself. As you know that Egypt started and sent already, and the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Minister of Foreign Affairs, at the same time, all the Egyptian authorities are calling for the international society and the state, European, any states all over the world want to send the humanitarian aid. We can receive it in El Arish and to go through the Egyptian port to get them deep.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Abdellatif Wahba, journalist. Thank you for being with us today. And back to our local news and reports from Egypt. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Ahmed Isa chaired the meeting of the Board of Directors of the Egyptian General Authority for Tourism Promotion at the ministry's headquarters in the new administrative capital. During the meeting, the minister reviewed the most prominent developments currently witnessed by the tourism industry in Egypt, as well as some of the procedures, promotion and activation plans that the ministry is pursuing during the coming period. Here is the full story. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Ahmed Isa chaired the meeting of the Board of Directors of the Egyptian General Authority for Tourism Promotion at the ministry's headquarters in the new administrative capital. During the meeting, the minister reviewed the most prominent developments currently witnessed by the tourism industry in Egypt, as well as some of the procedures, promotion and activation plans that the ministry is pursuing during the coming period. The minister also spoke about the minister's keenness to raise the degree of governance and efficiency of public spending on promotion, activation, and stimulation items